Straw Hut Media.
Welcome to the Soul Care Intensive, your oasis in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Join James Van Praagh in this unique spiritual retreat, where we take a step back from the chaos to ground ourselves, explore our spirituality, and connect with like-minded souls. From forgiveness and compassion to mediumship and intuition, we delve deep into the facets of spiritual growth and self-discovery, providing you the tools to connect with your core being.
Hi, everybody. Hello. This is Soul Care with me, James, today. As you can see, I'm not home. I'm in a hotel in Santa Barbara. I've come up here for looking around, maybe having a place up here and moving from San Diego. Not sure yet, but just getting a sense of the areas. And yesterday I had a wonderful 5-mile hike through a preserve with Pearl. And she's lying down right over here. And it was great. It was just wonderful above the cliffs and so magical. And there were all these birds like on 3 different trees coming around. And it was really nice. And then I met a couple of people who recognized me and wanted a picture and all that stuff. And they actually knew a mutual friend of mine that lives up here. So it's very interesting. And then I went, this lady told me that there was a beach for dogs down below. So she told me how to get down there. I did a hike all the way down, and it was just great. It was over 5 miles. I got to the beach, and it was Henry's Beach, was a dog beach, and it was just so magical. And as I'm getting down, and it was a long hike down to the beach, as I'm getting to the beach, the sunset is just starting, and people there with glasses of wine and hanging out. It was just so magical. So magical day, magical way, magical place, and it was great. It was really, really nice. So I wanted to say hello to everybody, and I'm glad you're here. And I hope you're hearing me and able to see me. I think you are. I'm setting something in the hotel room that I'm staying at. I also wanted to mention to everybody that it's been very, very busy as far as work goes, because I've been working really hard on my school, because we want to do things differently. And the spiritual meditation course is up and running, of course. And that's I was talking about it all weekend. And it's really great, because it's a great basic class. I was with some friends over the weekend, and I was telling about it with a couple of shamans, and I was telling about that course because they were mentioning different aspects of spirituality and quietness and centering. And I said that's part of my new course, which is the spiritual meditation course, and I cannot praise it enough. They went into it, they looked at it, and they were blown away. So that is available right now for you guys. So I wanted to let you know about that. And the other thing, which I've been working on really hard to get this done, is Mediumship 2 is coming up soon. So it'll be probably in about 2 weeks. And I've redone a lot of it in that I'm going to do personal mentoring with you. So not only is it a regular course, there's also some very personal mentoring with you. It's going to be connecting live, connecting with anything you have as far as your mediumship, working with you progressively, and also bringing out your strengths of mediumship and seeing how to more about discernment, more about connecting with the soul self, more about recognizing yourself with that soul, how the spirit world looks at you as you're a medium, how to get more confidence in your mediumship. So it's going to be really good. I've worked very hard on redoing that for the past couple of months. So it's going to be up next week. I'm sending out an email today about the changes in Mediumship 2. I know a lot of people have been wanting to go on taking this course. It's been a waiting list. So I'm sending my email first to the waiting list of people and then to the rest of the group, because it's Mediumship 1 is a good basic foundation. It's a great, great course. But the Mediumship 2 really delves into the real strong details of it and gets to the meat of it. And I'm adding a lot of stuff in there, some personal stuff. So, and it's maybe going to keep the journaling, even incorporating, maybe writing a book in there, the writer within, maybe incorporating that within Mediumship 2. So things like that we're going to try to do. So I hope you'll join me for that when you get the email in a couple of weeks. You'll be doing that, okay? And what else? I think that's it. That's most happening. So I thought I'd answer the questions you might have if you'd like to ask some questions. I'd be more than happy. And Renee, you can put them up probably in the bottom here. I hope this is working well. I think it is. I'm on an iPad. Okay. Hi, Ellie. Hi from your neck of the woods in Queens. I love that expression. it's so funny, Ellie. Lately, I've been using all weekend and then last week I started because things have been so fast and technologically really progressive. And since I just turned 65, and I say, wow, that's part of the old world. Well, that's part of the new world. Like all these apps are part of the new world. So it's very funny. I've been talking about that. So your comment here from your neck of the woods in Queens is it's kind of an old world comment, which I love. Thank you, Ellie. Queens, I really hope you are feeling better and taking care of yourself. Thank you, Ellie. I was just telling Renee before we started that, excuse me, I have lingering COVID, which is that 6-week lingering dry cough thing. I'm negative, been negative for a while now, but it still comes up every once in a while. But I am taking care of myself. I have my cough drops right here. I have cough syrup. I have vapor rub, and I feel good. It's just when I've been overdoing things, but I'm not. I'm just walking with Pearl. So this is kind of a little mini vacation up here in Santa Barbara. Thanks, Ellie. Appreciate that. Very kind. Okay. Hi, Dawn. Good to see you again. It's been a little while, Dawn. Thank you so much for your show. You're very welcome. I had several head injuries in my life. What are your thoughts on how trauma, brain injury opens up and raises the octave of our leadership? Dawn, very much so. So Kelly White, who I'm doing a show with on Both Sides Now and Beyond, she started with a major brain injury, and it was a major trauma. And just helping Kelly write a book, helping her to edit the book, and it talks a lot about how she went through this brain trauma, and that opened her up as far as her mediumship. And it is common, believe it or not, when there's a brain injury that it opens a certain aspect or a certain part of the brain, and it affects that part of the brain and opens the intuitive part. So I would tend to say it would be more the right brain is opened up more. So it's common. There was a very famous psychic named Peter Hurkos in Holland, and the same thing happened. He was a house painter, and he fell from his ladder and he hurt his head. It had major head injury trauma, and he became extremely psychic after that. And I saw Peter several times do his work, and he would, the way he would work as a psychic, he would have someone, the coordinator, whoever, tell the audience people, the members, to give me any of your objects and put them on a big table. And Peter wasn't in the room. And then Peter would come in, and Peter would hold an object and it psychometrize it, feel it, the energy of it, and he would tell you everything about the person that it belonged to. And it was amazing to watch. And I watched him twice, and he was amazing. He passed over now, but that's very true. It does. So it does, Dawn. And Dawn, good to see you again. Thanks, sweetheart. Hey, Susan. Will meditation help us to make the right choices? Yes, completely. In that, as you'll see in the course, it really helps you to get into your soul self, into your intuitive self, into the heart of the matter, I call it. And when you're into the heart, when you're into you know who you are, you'll know what resonates as truth with you. You'll know what to choose that's going to expand you, is better for you. And you know that you'll feel that energy of what resonates as truth with you. You also feel what doesn't feel right with you. It's not in alignment with you. Now, I've been driving up here in Santa Barbara, and I've been using my intuition a lot because I'm looking for a couple places, maybe feeling the spaces out. And I'm just totally using my intuition, right? What I'm telling you about. And I'll know what block to turn down. So this morning, there's a fork in the road. I felt which one I should go down. Sure enough, I went down the left one I wanted to go. I felt that was the right one. I ended up at a real estate agent who I went and talked with, and he's going to help me find a place if I'd like to appear. And then I was like, I feel hungry. Maybe I should get a sandwich. One block later, there was the most well-known delicatessen in the area here, and it was great. I had my sandwich over here, and it's been going on like that. And even this morning, I thought to myself, I would love to have a newspaper. And the next thing you know, outside the delicatessen was the newspaper, the New York Times. So it does happen. And when you learn to use that, recognize subtle energy, that subtle knowingness, your soul speaking to you, that's when you begin to really can expand your life and live in your heart, not your head. So the meditation course I have is designed for that. It's designed to sit in your stillness, to know who you are, to resonate that energy of what is truth to you and what is not yours. Also, what's your energy and what's someone else's energy too. So that's part of the course as well. So I use that for the tools for the highly sensitive. I've used some of that into that course, the meditation course. So yes, the answer is yes. And the other part of this is, if so, do we ask, especially before meditating? Don't need to. So you don't need to. So it comes with it. Okay. Hey, AJ, how are you? Since we are souls having a human experience And don't ever forget that, you guys. We are souls having a human experience, and step back from it. I was talking about this weekend to friends. I step back and be very objective about it. And it's really important that we don't sink into that human experience, that humanness too much, because then you get into the critical, judgmental mind. And you don't want to do that. You want to step back and be objective and see people as who they are and what they are. Don't judge them, but you're able to step back and see that everybody comes here made of all different levels of souls. And we don't have to judge it. We just see that that's based upon experiences they've had throughout this lifetime, other lifetimes, and this is who they are. So meet them where they're at. And that helps with this. Okay. Can a human live without a soul? I don't know what that means. And think on their own. You are a soul. You are a soul. It's like you have a head in your body. It's just part of your being, right? Is it possible that the human tries to do things against what the soul wants? All the time. And that's why I've created my school, and this meditation course, because it reminds people who they are. The biggest thing, EJ, is we're always souls, right? But we forget that. We get involved in the human world, this dimension, and this vibration and this frequency, and this becomes kind of real to us, because you have to remember that people think this is it, and people are trying to market it, this human thing, and TV and media and social media, and it's all about the human experience, and we're so much more than that. Remember that the human being, this human body, this vessel, that only about 20 to 30% of the soul is within here. 70% is outside this body. That's where you want to look at, the space of it around you. And again, the meditation will help to become aware of those fields around you and who you truly are. So there you go, my love. Hi, Barbara. Do you still spirits? I know what that means. Do you still spirits as much now as you do? Oh, do you still kind of see or feel them as much as you did when you were younger, or have you succeeded in turning them out? Do you see spirits when you do a reading, or do you just hear the messages? Okay. Well, Barbara, number one, I was a young boy. Kids are very, very open as they are young toddlers and young children, very open, because number one, they've just come from the spiritual world, that vibration. So they are aware of those things because that's the world they've just come from. So they reference things based upon that world, right? It's only until probably around the age of 6, 7, 8 that they become aware of, well, I say programmed in this world, because the adults, the parents, the teachers say, you have to do this in order to receive this. So let's just say you have to get an A on a test in order to be accepted. Kind of that's what it looks like. Or the child might look at it as, I want my parents' love, or my teacher's love, or I want to be loved, right? And if I do what they say, then I'll be loved. And that's when we get into that unfortunately, that pattern, and sometimes it stays long, long time in our lives, until I'd say like midlife, and we become people pleasers, and we do things for others, and we forget about ourselves. And that's the problem. And usually around middle age, 30s, maybe to the 40s, to start getting a sense of, wow, something's not working for me. I don't feel connected, or something's not right. And that might be some of you on the call right now too, because that sense of I'm feeling that this is true. So I'm looking for somewhere else. And that's when that happens. So as a soul, as a child, I used to see spirit. I heard spirit. And as I got into my young life, like I was just telling someone this weekend, at the age of 7, I was at school, and I remember that I'm not a morning person, I'm a night person. Well, I used to be, but now I have a daughter, a little 4-legged daughter that keeps me up early in the morning. But I remember I was daydreaming or falling asleep in my class, but I guess it was 9 in the morning. And I remember like kind of daydreaming, and there was a spirit boy that came through the window of the class, and he came over to my desk, and he handed me or showed me this design. And he said to me, my name is William. We knew each other in the Civil War. I'm like 7 years old. And, and he said, you don't remember this, but this is for you. You will not remember this now, but later you will. And he gave me a design. So interesting, because I forgot about that design until I wrote 40 years later the book Growing Up in Heaven, about children who pass over to the spirit world. And at the end of that book, I thought I want to say or demonstrate something that references or shows the soul. what the soul looks like in a way we could understand it. And that same vision came back to me as far as the design he sent me. And it's 144 triangles, pyramids, and it's sacred geometry. And that is really the fragments of the soul. So it's at the end of that book. Like, wow, that was pretty cool. So as I got older, probably in puberty, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, your mind's somewhere else. I'm in high school. It's a very different thing. So I didn't pay attention to spirits at all. It's kind of like it was very natural to me as a kid. And as I got older, it's faded away. They didn't just show up. I wasn't aware of that until my early 20s again. And when I went to go see a medium, I was kind of dragged to go see this medium. And he said, yourself, you are a medium. You can help change the consciousness of the planet. And I thought this guy was crazy. But what happened was I started meditating because I wanted to be well known as a producer. And I always knew as a kid I'd be well known. I just knew I would. I thought as an actor, I didn't know, or some kind of a writer. And I went to school for broadcasting, be a sitcom writer because it was funny. And what happened was he was so incredible, this medium, that I started meditating. And it was after I started meditating for just 2 weeks, I started seeing colors like I did as a child around people, like auric fields. And also I could see beings, spirit beings, like I did as a child. And that's really when I started my early 20s again. So, yeah. So, and I don't, I still work. I don't work as much. I work mostly in the school with the calls and the teaching. I do demonstrations. I do online, the Zoom calls. I'm doing one at the end of October. I might do one beforehand, a pop-up one. I mean, I love doing that because there's always a connection with the spirit world, which to me is incredible and loving. But you don't force it. You just let it happen. You let them be. When you're ready to work, you learn development. And in mediumship too, we teach this about how you open yourself up. And it's almost like a switch when you're ready to open up your mind to that aspect of them and them to enter your field. Then you're ready to work. And that's how they come and they influence you. They come. And mediumship too, this time also, we're going to do different exercises, live exercises as well. So that'll be kind of cool that I've learned the past couple of years. So then when you're finished, you learn how to close off, turn off that awareness, and then you have regular life and you have a normal life. It's not like every day you're seeing dead people. And people think that it's a misnomer because they watch television shows that demonstrated that, like Teresa Caputo's on a Medium show. The producers didn't know how to produce that show. And to me, maybe it's my Capricorn rising, I'm full of integrity in that if you're putting something out to the public, and maybe for my broadcasting degree, you're learning about this with Marshall McLuhan, who is a wonderful broadcaster, and we'll often talk about responsibility. And with the work I do as a spiritual medium, I realize, of course, that the energy you put out there, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So, and you're always putting energy out. You're always putting energy out. You're always creating. And when you put that energy out to the world, for me, it's got to be positive. It's got to be uplifting. It's got to be informative. Because don't waste the energy, right? Because also we have karma, which is the energy you create and you send out, it will come back to you. So there's a circle, right? So that's all part of it. So when I do a reading, we have to remember this very good question, Barbara, because every medium is different and every person is different. As you know, we're all different. So when they communicate with me, they are different. There are some spirits that are very visual, so they'll show me things clairvoyantly, and some are very good at that. Others communicate really well with hearing, so clairaudient. I'm able to hear snippets of pieces of things. And every one of us is called clairsentient. So we sense things. We walk into a room, we feel a certain thing. When we meet somebody, we feel a certain energy. That's clairsentience. We all have that. So all those three combinations, I have that ability that has been developed, right, with my course I teach, and that's my development, the things I've learned in development. So that's really what it's about. It's developing that part of yourself. I say the soul self. And it's also a journey of your soul. It's not just a mediumship. It's almost like I'm having a journey with my soul self, and I'm learning to expand and grow. And along with that attribute comes mediumship. It's kind of like that's kind of the best way to look at it. Thank you, Barbara. Long answer to a good question. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Wendy. Wow. I was watching Ghosts in the Afterlife, and you came on. I know. Crazy. And take care. Think better. But thank you, Wendy. I did that many, many years ago, and There's a lady in that, I believe, the Holland, the Dutch medium, and she does physical mediumship. And I know her. I'm just not sure she's a good physical medium. Not to put anyone down, but again, integrity is important. And if physical mediumship is very, very difficult. It takes many, many years to develop that part of ourselves. So I know that that movie represents mediumship, but I take it with a grain of sand because I know some of the players in there, and I'm just a little hesitant to say, oh. So I mean, I thank God it's out in the airwaves, and at least it's out there. Funny enough, I'm going to a place here called Summerland, which is up in Santa Barbara, and Summerland was a place which began in the early 1800s, and it was so interesting. I read this book. I went to a store yesterday, and this lady I hit off really, really well, Susie, and she gave me the book. It's called The Yellow House, and she said, and I said, it's such a good feel here, and she goes, yes, and it's like 1 block long, right? This downtown area. And she said, it's very spiritual here. And I said, yes, I'm a spiritual medium. She goes, oh, you have to read this book. And it was started by this man, H.L. Waring, I believe his name is. And he was U.S. Treasurer for President Grant. And he was so honest and had a lot of integrity that he was working on certain financial things. And he realized there was some corruptness in senators. And Grant said, and you should get out of here because you'll be assassinated. So him and his family went to Arizona, at Tucson, Arizona, and eventually ended up here in California. And this land, there was land there, and he bought land, many, many acres. It was really undeveloped. And he started the first spirituals camp here in California. And people used to come from all around with tents. They set up tents in the late 1800s, or middle 1800s, actually. And they would set up tents and have these great spiritualist meetings. So this whole town of Summerland was a spiritualist town, and it still is. So people met me along the way. They recognized me. My hike. Some gentleman came up to me. He goes, "You're the man." I was like, "What?" He goes, "You're the man." And I said, "Oh, I don't know about that, but I'm me." So your name is what is it? He goes, "James." Oh yeah, that. So it was funny, but it's a great place, Summerland. I love it up here. I love the energy there, and the history of it is just amazing. The spirituals, it's not like Lilydale, a little different, but and then eventually they found oil in the land, and then they brought the industry in for Summerland and Santa Barbara. It was all based on that. So very interesting. Okay, thanks, Wendy. Hi, Susie. I've taken Mediumship 1, and since I've been studying and practicing, I have a movie like real, very, very good clairvoyance play in my head. Sometimes when I relaxed and when I was falling asleep, its images going by. An explanation. Sure. So you're just beginning to open up your clairvoyance. And the spirit people, your guides, your team will open you up. And you can't, this way you can't rush it. You can't rush it, Susie. You just got to take it one step at a time, pace yourself. And Mediumship 1 is a great beginning. But then Mediumship 2 goes in more defining those visions. And then also, but you would learn in Mediumship 2 is not only having the movie, but more aspects of that movie. Who's giving you that movie? What time in the life was the movie created? That scene, that memory. They're showing you memories. Makes them show you memories of an experience they had with a loved one, right? And they'll tell you when that happened. And when you get the Mediumship 2, it's more defined. So where did that happen? What place did it happen? Was it at home? What state was it in? What country was it in? You become more aware of not only your clairvoyance, probably more of your clairsentience, and be able to more describe the personality that goes along with that vision. And then you get, of course, to what is the reason behind this? Why are they bringing this memory into the mind of the medium so that the recipient can learn from this? Mediumship, as you know, is an opportunity for those souls that pass over to have one last word, one last talk to their loved ones, things they may be able to say. Like I've had many times where I've had people come in and say, "I'm sorry I didn't say I love you in the lifetime. I wasn't aware. Didn't learn about love when I was growing up. I wasn't taught that, so I couldn't teach it to you. I'm very sorry." And in mediumship, one of the things I love about mediumship, and we get more of this in Mediumship 2, is you look at the bigger picture for the spirit. Like, what did they not? You always go back to childhood, because childhood you learn where things come from, and then we get into generational things. So, for instance, this might have happened because someone comes into this generation to heal 2 generations back. of things that were done. Because remember, we're all one group, we're all one soul group, really. There are those individuals in your family and friends who are very much connected with you in one smaller soul group, but we really are connected in the bigger as well. So, and the second meeting too, that's we get more into that little bit of philosophy and more defined in mediumship. So, but it's good. So we slowly pace yourself. Good girl. Okay, thanks, Susie. Hi, Marie. Oh, it's Ireland, are you then? Okay, darling. Well, Marie, I'm not going to destroy your name, but sweetheart, I have a gift for you. I'm going to be in Ireland. I'm going back to Ireland in Dublin. So I'll be in Dublin. I think it's the 15th of October. It'll be on my website. We're just getting this place set. I'll be in Dublin for 3 days, but I'll be teaching one full day, and I will be doing a demonstration in the evening. It's going to be in Dublin. We're just getting the hotel set up right now. My friend over there, Margaret, over there in Dublin, is setting it up. It's going to be on Eventbrite. So it'll probably be at the end of this week on vanpraagh.com, my website, for my visit in Dublin. I'm going to be, now I have the Irish accent, I'm going to be in Scotland, a week in Switzerland teaching at a mediumship conference there. It's open to the public. A lot of Europeans go there from all over Europe and Russia and South America, Latin America, China, believe it or not. And they're able to come over there. And it's an academy in Switzerland. It's in Basel, Switzerland. And I'll be with Gordon Smith, who's a lovely, of course, European medium I worked with before. He's like kind of the European version of myself. It's very, as you guys, when we've seen him, it's very funny. We're like brothers from a different mother. And great sense of humor. So we're going to be working together for a week in Switzerland, doing some filming work and also teaching and demonstrating. Then we go to Scotland and do some work there and demonstration in Scotland. And then I go to Dublin, and then I'll be back in London at Copley, England, and we're going to do work there. And if you go on the website, you'll see some of those dates. Many of them are sold out. I do think Basel is still open, but there are a lot of people involved. Yeah, so there we go. So I'm very happy to be doing that. It's going to be great to work with Gordon, and great to go back to Basel, this mediumship academy where, everybody with like minds. It's always great to be with part of that. Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. I hope I see you in Dublin. How can you tell the difference with regards to messages by the way, spirit guides or loved ones? Oh, easy. You develop. You develop. So part of your development is learning, or becoming aware would be the better way of putting it. Becoming aware of the space of your loved ones, of a regular spirit person contacting you, or the energy, because the energy of a guide. So you become aware that in I'm going to say in bits and pieces, and sitting in the stillness of your being, back to the meditation course, that's what helps, because you become aware of the spaces around you, right? The different levels around you. And you also become aware of who steps into that space, in that it's so subtle and so soft. It's who steps in. And first of all, if you recognize the space that you're in, right? So let's say you're in a regular room in a house. You know when someone walks in the door because you know it's physically done. So with meditation and how this works, and one of the lessons I have in the meditation course is guides. You become aware of, first of all, you're already aware then of that space. By the time you get to this point in the course, you become aware of that space. You familiarize with that space, the energy of the space, the colors of the space, the the physical properties, if you will, of your cell. You can understand it and become aware of it, and the bands of energy, and how that shifts when you ask a guide to come in. And there's an exercise that you have a guide come behind you and to the sides of you. And then you go what I call delve deeper, that art of discovery, delving deeper into it, in that you become aware of someone that steps into the space. You can ask for a guide to come in, but you need to ask a philosophy guide to come in. And you wait and you feel with the energy of a philosopher, of an inspirer. And you feel then, let's say a healing guide. What does a healing guide feel like? What energies are they emanating out into your mind, into the mind field, that you receive, that you recognize it as a healing guide? And that from your reference library, I call it reference library, that you have references of what that feels like for a healing guide, and for an opportunity guide, an everyday guide that helps you with things happen in your life. So that's very different than a spirit contact, a regular spirit contact, because you'll feel with them more of the personality of themselves, when they come into your mind, you'll feel their personality more. So it's a subtle difference, but it's a very important difference. So again, it comes along in development and in progress. Okay, I hope I answered that well. Thanks, Diane. Hi, Lisa. If a psychic doesn't see your loved one as a soul, does that mean you have been reborn? Then you can no longer be. So the good question, Lisa, and it's a very important question that people need to know. That so the word psychic, I'm just, because I'm a Virgo and very deep, very. So psychic, everybody's psychic to one degree or another. So psychic is able to see past, present, and future, or the present moment. A medium is someone who's able to contact the spirit world. Just a slight difference in the two. So we use psychic for a general sense, but it is very distinctly different. So every medium is psychic, but not every psychic is a medium. So also very, very different, right? So a medium is able to contact your loved one. And that personality that you know, that your soul group, part of your soul group, they will stay there in that other wavelength, that other world, that other space, until you come over there to join them in that soul group. Now, it's important to note this, that we are souls having an experience, I said earlier. So we have to realize that the soul is made up of many, many levels of awareness. So all around us, these different levels. And time is only relative to this three-dimensional world. It's only here in this three-dimensional world we have time, past, present, future. There is no time on the other levels of awareness. There's no time in the spirit world. So you can be in the past, the present, future, or, it's really what we call quantum physics. All the time is irrelevant, and everything is as it is right now. Everything is happening at the same time. So there's part of your soul. Think of your soul as this. Maybe it's easier to conceive this, a star, right? A 5-pointed star. And that this lifetime right now you're having, Lisa, is one of those points of the star. But you have 4 other points of the star, and they're living lives somewhere else, living maybe different universes, different lifetimes, nothing to do with human, maybe a different species even, because we're so much more than this human part of us. And those souls we've connected with on this human level in this particular lifetime are on that same wavelength, that one little star. That's the one little point of the star. So they will wait for you. They wait for you, and you will see them. They don't move on. When we move on, the best way to describe it that I understand is the soul groups will move on together. So there could be several soul groups, that star, right? Like 5 soul groups, right? But that one you belong to all stay together until everyone's over there. So nothing to worry about. And that's, simply put, I mean, I'm sure it's more complex than that, and us humans don't understand most of it. But that's pretty good as far as the description I can share with you that I understand. I hope that helps, Lisa. So it's way beyond us. Thank you, sweetheart. Hi, hello, sweetheart. How are you, Carla? I'm Jane. Hi, James. I'm a woman who has just started to develop my spiritual side. Yay! I was experiencing so much over the years. Good to do that now. I wonder if the physical contact I get by someone touching my hair on the head or another part of the body is common. At the same moment, my body becomes very cold. Yes, Corolla. Yes, it is very, very common, sweetheart, in that. And that tells me you're very mediumistic. So you'd do very well doing mediumship or learning me about mediumship, because you are already set. You already have the makeup for that. And now it just needs to be developed. And never have fear about it, because, again, you're a soul and having an experience. You're just a soul encased in this physical skin. They're a soul outside the skin. The only difference is the skin. So love never dies, and love comes close to you. And when you feel them, many times you'll feel sensations of spirit around you, really cold breeze, really cold. You'll feel them touching your hair or touching part of the body, or you feel a cold breeze in your ear. It's very, very common, sweetheart. And it tells me you're very mediumistic. And enjoy your pathway, enjoy your journey, because your time is right. So very good, sweetheart. Hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Ellie. Good to see you. You talk about spirit beams. It sounds like it happened to me as a child. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I should have paid more attention, but maybe I was scared. Yeah. So remember, it's a journey. It's a process. The unknown can be very fearful to most of us. I've hopefully eliminated a lot of that for you guys. And if you've just joined me, welcome, welcome, welcome to this journey with me. I hope I can help you. And it's exciting. It's an exciting journey. And one of the things I'm going to share with you is over the weekend, I was with some friends. And I went on a shamanic journey with mushrooms, and that interesting, just to see what it was like. And it was an interesting time. I didn't really care for it in that it didn't do anything. I've done ayahuasca tea many, many years ago, 25 years ago in Brazil. And I'm open to discovering different things. It really didn't have the effect that I didn't know what to expect. I had no expectations, but it was very, it was fine, but it was, I already have that vibration of seeing and sensing. So for me, it was just, I didn't really need it and I didn't care for it. So I like coffee beans, like those edible ones, and for just to relax. I like it actually more than alcohol, the coffee bean things, but because alcohol, I just don't care. But anyway, that was my weekend. And so I thank you, everybody. If you like this and share this live streaming to help grow the channel. Yes, thank you, Renee, for putting that up. Yeah, if you could, for everybody, that's really helpful because I do this to help everybody, to open people up, and we really rely on you to share it with people or to tell people about it, because that's really the word. I don't advertise for this. So if you could let people know who might be interested to check it out. And also I have a YouTube page. I do Instagram. I have a friend that helps me with Instagram. And I am doing TikTok, and I'm learning it myself to do TikToks. I'm doing a lot more of them. And so I hope you'll join me in that journey and support me with that journey of TikTok. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye-bye for now.
Thank you for being part of this enlightening journey on the Soul Care Intensive. We hope our discussions, exercises, and meditations have guided you deeper into your spiritual growth and self-discovery. Whether it's connecting with the spirit world, releasing past hurts, or finding joy, every episode is a step towards a fulfilled and meaningful life. Missed an episode? Don't worry. You can always catch up on your favorite podcast app or watch the live Q&A sessions on Facebook and YouTube with James Van Praagh. Don't forget to join our online community for continued learning and support. Remember to subscribe and keep investing in your soul's wellness. Until next time, continue to embrace diversity, nurture your intuition, and always prioritize your soul care.